Hello. My name is Tom Stiles, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And this is my workshop. And I'm attempting a radio repair. I haven't done a radio repair in probably 20 years. And I was never that into radio repairs. It was something simple. Okay, I'll try it. But anyway, this is my Radio Shack Realistic DX-302. And I bought this probably 20 years ago at a ham fest. And brought it home, and it seemed to work fine. And then over the years, the outer knob here, and I don't want to touch it because I've got some repair going on. The outer knob here controls the megahertz frequency, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 megahertz. And then the black dial here controls the point megahertz, and it's good to 1 kilohertz. So it tunes at 1 kilohertz. And over the years, the problem that occurred was when I went to change the megahertz using the outer ring here, the silver ring here, it didn't change. And it kind of worked and didn't work, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I don't want me on the screen. And so the other day I was looking at my radios, and I thought, you know, I haven't played with that radio in a long time, and I really liked that radio, and it was a very good radio, very sensitive radio, and it had dials and knobs, which I like lots of dials and knobs. It has a digital readout, a big S meter, and the one thing unique about it that caught my eye when I bought it is it has a pre-selector tuner. And I've always felt that having a pre-selector would definitely improve your tuning capabilities. So anyway, today I got it down, and I tried turning the megahertz knob. Would not change at all. If I jiggle it a whole bunch, it would maybe change, but not necessarily in the direction I wanted it to. So I thought, well, it's time to take this thing apart. Now, I've never had this radio apart. It was one of these radios that when I talked to the gentleman that was selling it, he said it works fine, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, you can just take it home and turn it on, which I did. And I used it for several years. And so I opened it up this morning, and it was loaded with these little balls of fine, like horsehair, something like that, and seeds, open bird seeds. So it was like a little hamster or something got in it, but I don't know how they could have got in it because it's completely enclosed. Now maybe, and I'll get to it, maybe the previous user had the cover off and let it sit for a while. Well, when I started taking things apart, and I suspected something was slipping here, and I was hoping it was just a matter of tightening something down. Well, in order to get to the mechanism, you have to take this faceplate off, and of course you have to take all the knobs off, which all but 2 came off real easy, and one of these little switches and this knob here was a pain to get off, and I ended up on this knob. I actually had to use a pair of pliers. I tried using a pair of pliers with a cloth over it to prevent from scratching the knob, but it would not hold, so I just had to clamp down on it and pull it out, and I did scratch up the knob, so it was not perfect. So anyway, Then there's a bunch of screws around the peripheral. I started taking the screws out, and I noticed 2 of the screws were missing. So it was obvious somebody had been into this radio before. And I think what happened was, I think it was slipping before, and maybe they did some temporary fix, because the problem is that some of the gears are plastic or some kind of plastic-like material. And I remember reading that this radio, the main gear here for the megahertz band, megahertz selection, does tend to crack. And I even saw, where I saw that was, I saw it on an ad on eBay, and the guy described it, and he says, there's a gear in the main tuning that has cracked, and therefore it slips, you'll have to fix it. So I thought, oh, okay, that's what this is. And sure enough, when I got it all apart, that gear was cracked. And I don't know if the previous owner tried, I didn't see anything that indicated he tried to fix it. Probably be impossible to find that gear. But, so what I did is kind of a shot in the dark, is I just poured some epoxy on the shaft and the gear. Now, whether that's going to hold or not, I don't know. If it holds for a while, then I feel I'm successful. So we'll just see. And it was actually, what it was is Gorilla Glue is what it was. And unfortunately, the Gorilla Glue had been here about 9 months, and it looked a kind of thick, but maybe that's normal. I only used it like once, and when I first got it, of course. So we're going to see. I'm going to leave this sit overnight and see if that will cure. Of course, the directions said to put a thin coat. Well, I just dabbed it, so it may take a long time to dry. Said it will be dry in 1 or 2 hours. So since it's so thick, I'm going to let it sit overnight. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Again, I want to try to get this DX-302 working. And now that I've kind of gotten my workshop back, I'll be pulling more of my radios that I set aside because there was a problem, excuse me, just like there's a problem with my voice, and try to fix them. And if I can't fix them, get rid of them because I need the room. So anyway, that's the show for today. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.